This is Dateline Sunday, October 25th, 1998. Tonight, if you're a parent, you've dealt with temper tantrums. But have you ever dealt with this? See what Dateline's hidden cameras have captured. An explosive child in a home where every mealtime is a meltdown. Every bedtime a battle. Won't anything work?
Sounds like he's in the driver's seat.
Oh, he's in the driver's seat. I mean, we're under the tires.
Hoda Kotb asks, what can these parents do to control their out-of-control son? They were doctors and scientists trained to save lives. Instead, they designed diabolical ways to kill people.
Screwdrivers that could apply poison?
Yes.
Umbrellas that could shoot a poison pellet into a victim?
Yes.
Now, for the first time, one of them is speaking out exclusively to Dateline about the organized campaign to inflict pain on others.
Did you think beyond individuals of fathers, brothers, husbands?
Dennis Murphy on the secret agents of death. Towns in Texas have been covered by record floods, the second flooding disaster to hit the state in just 2 months. The first was Tropical Storm Charlie. That's a storm some Texans will never forget.
I was scared to death. I didn't know what was going to happen to me.
But amid the floodwaters, stories of dramatic rescues and heroic efforts.
I was going to get everybody that I could.
Sarah James on courage in the face of nature's wrath. Dateline with Jane Pauley and Stone Phillips, plus Tom Brokaw, Katie Couric, and Maria Shriver. From Studio 3B in Rockefeller Center, here is Stone Phillips.
Good evening. We think of them as healers and humanitarians. They dedicate themselves to saving lives. But the story you're about to see is about doctors and scientists who became agents of death. Now, for the first time, one of them is speaking out exclusively to Dateline about how he was recruited to inflict excruciating pain on others. Here's Dennis Murphy.
Everybody thought I was just overworked.
But it wasn't overwork. He was apparently dying in an American hospital bed 10,000 miles from home.
I started sweating, felt like I was going to vomit, and there was pain throughout the body.
Reverend Frank Ciccone was in the United States visiting his wife, a student, when he became violently ill.
The initial investigation was food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
But that was eliminated quickly.
It was the 4th episode in 2 weeks, and the doctors were baffled. But they could never have imagined that Ciccone had been made gravely ill by an assassin, targeted by a killer dispatched by his own government.
The assassins almost got you, didn't they?
Well, I believe that they must have celebrated thinking I'm dead.
They were an unlikely hit squad. Medical doctors and scientists, a nation's brain trust, working inside secret government laboratories, developing weapons against enemies of the state.
Reverend, why were you an enemy of the state?
Well, you just have to go back to that period, then you'll understand it was a sick society.
Take a trip back with us to the South Africa of apartheid and the upside-down secret world within the South African 7th Medical Battalion, where doctors who had taken the physician's vow to first do no harm talked about ways of manufacturing plagues and pandemics, where brilliant scientists in crisp white smocks toiled not on better living through chemistry, but on ways of perfecting poisons. They were men like the engineer who fabricated devices called the toys, gadgets like screwdrivers with secret chambers and pop-out needles.
Screwdrivers that could apply poison?
Yes.
Umbrellas that could shoot a poison pellet into a victim? A walking stick with...
Walking stick with
poison needles?
Yeah.
What looks like a sedate college campus was a laboratory that turned out the goods for a little shop of horrors. Refrigerators filled with cholera, chocolates laced with anthrax, whiskey bottles sealed with poison, and on and on. A black bag of assassin's tools. Designed, the world is now learning, for a top-secret war by the South African government against its own citizens and taxpayers. Cape Town, South Africa may be one of the most beautiful spots on Earth. But the ugly stories, mind-boggling stories that began tumbling out of hearings held here evoke nothing less than the Nazis and their infamous medical experiments. For instance, brilliant scientific researchers from the apartheid era, medical doctors, testified that they were looking into ways to develop a drug that would leave black women infertile. Genocidal horror stories. It was all part of a top-secret operation of the South African Defense Forces called Project Coast. And one of the bright young men in the lab was Jan Lawrence. This is his first interview.
When people say now, those South Africaners were doing Nazi stuff, do you agree?
Yes, unfortunately, I have to agree.
In the early 80s, Lawrence was a young married man with a university degree, fulfilling his military hitch, assigned to an elite special forces unit within the 7th Medical Battalion.
We were a small group of, at that stage, 5 or 6 individuals. I was an engineer, and the other people were medical practitioners, doctors.
There was then, as there are now, 2 South Africas. The South Africa where the black majority lived in often desperately poor ghetto townships, like Soweto, and the South Africa of the white minority, in suburbs that could be transplanted seamlessly into Southern California. But by the late 70s and well into the 80s, the townships had exploded after decades of racial oppression. The South African security forces felt besieged, fighting insurrection at home, guerrilla wars in neighboring countries.
So you were fighting what, against communists?
Communism primarily, yes.
And so the young engineer, Lawrence, went to work developing masks and clothing to defend against biochemical attacks from beyond the country's borders. But Project Coast soon shifted gears. Lawrence and others were now being asked to develop weapons to attack South Africa's own black population. The toy shop had opened.
Pretty third-rate James Bond, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first-rate James Bond, but even James Bond is not high-tech stuff.
Lawrence showed us how an ordinary screwdriver was turned into a poison-dispensing weapon by the gunsmith who shared his workspace. A chamber was hollowed out of the grip and fitted with a spring-loaded mechanism.
So it would draw up the poison almost like a fountain pen.
It would draw exactly like a...
Pull it up into the chamber, huh?
Yes.
What worked on screwdrivers was tried successfully on umbrellas and walking sticks.
You knew what they were?
Yes. Yes, it was impossible not to. I knew that they were designed to kill individuals. I never had a doubt about it.
Did you think beyond individuals of fathers, brothers, husbands?
Never. Never.
Enemies of the state being targeted inside that laboratory. Doctors working in small groups on a need-to-know basis, each said to be unaware of the other's hush-hush deadly projects. Highly educated scientists experimenting with poison chocolates, exploding boxes of laundry soap, and far more ominous biological research. No questions asked.
It wasn't until a hell of a lot later that I started to question whether we were in actual fact using against the right people.
When my wife left that night in the United States, she was convinced I was dead.
People like the Reverend Frank Chikane. If Archbishop Tutu was South Africa's Martin Luther King, then the young, brash Reverend Chikane was its Jesse Jackson, leading protest marches, preaching out front in the face of the white Afrikaners.
We must then survive.
Reverend Chikane, who still preaches in Soweto, is now a high-ranking official in the new government. But he was very nearly murdered, he told Dateline, in 1988, when agents of the apartheid government put poison in, of all things, his underwear.
The poison that they had placed in your underwear was being absorbed into your skin and into your blood system.
Yeah.
Later, he would learn details of an assassination plot that began at Johannesburg Airport, where government security agents allegedly intercepted and opened Reverend Chikane's checked luggage, and then applied poison to 5 pair of undershorts. But Chikane was lucky.
If you hadn't gotten medical attention right away,
I would have died. When I was in the United States, they brought the best doctors, and I'm convinced many other people just died.
Lawrence says he knew nothing about the Chikane poisoning attempt, not his project. He was merely the engineer in the biochem warfare unit focusing on the workbench problems at hand. A patriot. But he was about to see his sideline, the making of gadgets, in a totally new light. He was going to see what those ingenious assemblies of springs and needles were actually used for. The engineer was about to become a secret agent and a victim of his own deadly weapon.
And he's also about to give the world its first look at his top secret weapons of death when we come back.
I couldn't live with myself anymore.
Did you feel like a rat?
I did.
Can you guess whose parents drive a Nissan Altima?
Hi, Mom. Hey, buddy.
The remarkably quiet Nissan Altima. Enjoy the ride.
Now lease an Altima GXC for just $229 a month for 39 months with a $999 initial payment.
From the very beginning, you try to give your baby things you think they'll like, right down to those fancy, expensive diapers. But then you learn they decide what they like.
I love you.
And you decide on Loves. They cost less, but they're great on leaks. There's a leak guard guarantee on Loves. And now Barney's on Loves. In fact, he's everywhere. Hey, live and learn, and then get Loves.
Now look for Barney's Great Adventure on video everywhere. Loves just loves to be a part of it.
They will do business at a pace we can't conceive of. Where in the world will they get the energy they need? Today, Southern Company is taking its 70 years of experience to Europe, Asia, and South America. At home, we're trading electricity and gas, reinventing the way business will buy energy in the future. So when they travel through life at the speed of light, we'll be waiting for them, with the power on. We are Southern Company, energy to serve your world.
Don't be a drip. I'm not. I color with the cream that doesn't drip.
New Excellence Cream from L'Oreal, the non-drip color cream. Of course it protects, always has. But New Excellence is even better, with a ceramide and protein formula to revitalize your hair for rich color, incredible body, more oomph. And does it ever cover grays? Not that I ever had any. New Excellence Cream from L'Oreal, because I'm worth it.
NBC Tuesday. It's a wild Halloween. Just shoot me.
I'm a fairy princess.
Would you mind turning my little wooden friend into a real boy?
Maya meets her prince, and Finch faces his greatest fear. Then it's the biggest working ever. A satellite hurtles towards Earth.
What do you think this is? Some summer sex-filled action movie?
Your shirt's off.
It's the end of the world. Unless...
Cut the blue wire.
Blue wire.
All new. Must-see TV Tuesday.
Returning to our story, South Africa is in the midst of revolution, and some leaders, desperate to keep power, are willing to destroy anyone who stands in their way. They've recruited doctors and scientists to help them, and one who's speaking out for the first time is about to turn on his bosses. He's also about to become a victim of his own weaponry. Here again is Dennis Murphy.
It was the late 80s, and the townships were ablaze. Lauren's boss at Project Coast, a South African general and physician named Dr. Wouter Basson, was now, according to Lawrence, consumed with fighting the enemies within. Basson, he says, ordered him to make a delivery to a stranger in Britain, 1 screwdriver and 2 vials of poison. As Jan Lawrence tells it, the English train pulled into a suburban London station. Waiting for Lawrence on the platform was a stranger with a South African accent.
I took him to a safe house that was rented by Dr. Basson, or owned by Dr. Basson, and I handed the equipment to him.
Lawrence had never thought very deeply about how these nasty toys, as they called them, were used. But now he was the courier, an operative, and there was no turning back. The contact wanted a demonstration. As he drew the poison up into the screwdriver, he says he got a drop on his lips.
I was immediately aware of the fact that I poisoned myself.
You poisoned yourself with the poison that you had delivered?
Yes, and I poisoned myself accidentally.
Lawrence says he passed out in the bathroom of the safe house. And when he came to, the South African, the screwdriver, and the vials of poison were gone. When he got back to South Africa, Lawrence mentioned to Dr. Basson that he'd almost killed himself, and that was it.
We never ever discussed deliveries. We never ever discussed the efficiency of the equipment. I never ever asked him, did it work, didn't it work?
So the little machine shop continued to work?
Machine shop continued.
Out came umbrella guns, walking stick guns?
Yes.
Poison screwdrivers?
Yeah.
But a few weeks later, Lawrence says the morality of making weapons for assassins began to trouble him. Again, he was in England on a train, now with his boss, Dr. Basson.
I said to him, but Do you really believe, does he believe that what we're doing is morally justified?
Basson told him that he'd made his peace with God about it all, and Lawrence should do the same. Lawrence stayed with Basson's group, and the secret Project Coast continued. But political events were changing the landscape around them. In 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison. Apartheid was on its last legs. The white government in Pretoria began negotiating the terms of the transfer of power to the black majority. But even so, the assassin's laboratory stayed busy. The engineer was getting queasy about it all.
I couldn't live with myself anymore.
And so Lawrence went over Basson's head to the general ultimately in charge of the secret work, Dr. Daniel Noble.
Did you say to Noble, do you know about the screwdrivers, about the umbrella guns?
Yes.
And what did he say?
He said he didn't want to know about them.
Now, Lawrence's queasiness about the secret work in the laboratory and his role in it had become a crisis.
It became more and more difficult to just brush it under the carpet.
By 1993, the transition from a white to a black government was inevitable. Lawrence quit Project Coast, but not before taking some evidence with him.
So I had this parcel.
In the parcel, which he buried at a family farm, were samples of the assassin's gadgets. One of the last remains of the toy shop, in a country where the shredding machines were working overtime to erase the past before Mandela took over.
I left with the parcel.
It turned out to be blackmail, insurance against Basson, Noble, and the others who knew about this operation.
Well, I would prefer to see it as insurance, not blackmail.
It was proof he would dig up 3 years later when something called the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was convened to begin the national healing process.
You remember when this was given to you?
Jan Lawrence decided to step forward finally and tell the hidden chapter of history that began for him with screwdrivers.
I couldn't live with the situation. We had this ongoing series of lies and lies and lies in terms of what was happening to the country, what we were involved in, what we were not involved in.
Lawrence told the commissioners and the country of the simple engineering of his weapons, and he implicated former colleagues in dark deeds.
Did you feel like a rat?
I did.
But there was a consideration beyond just unburdening the soul. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission was offering amnesty, immunity from criminal prosecution, as long as you came forward and told your story honestly. So whether you were a bomber for Mandela's ANC party or a policeman who carried out executions, you had to take advantage of that amnesty deal or face potential prosecution.
Lawrence went for the amnesty deal, but some of his former colleagues and bosses didn't.
You could look at what you did and say that you saved your skin.
True.
You grabbed the brass ring as it came by.
Absolutely.
And took a deal.
Absolutely.
Lawrence's testimony was a bombshell. Other scientists and doctors were subpoenaed as the threat of prosecution became very real.
A drug effective against pigmented people only.
There was the doctor who said his lab group was discussing a plague that would affect only black people. Another read from the minutes of a top-secret government meeting about a proposal to slowly poison Nelson Mandela before his release from prison. Mandela, the document reads, must be in relative poor physical health, so he cannot act as a leader for a long time. And there was General Daniel Noble, the military doctor in charge of Project Coast, the man who Lawrence had confronted with the project's dark side.
You left him with the impression, don't tell me about it, I don't want to know.
No, that's true. I said, well, in the first place, I don't know what you're talking about. I was not involved in that, and certainly it was not part of the program.
The now retired general says he told Lawrence to take his complaint somewhere else, to criminal authorities. The dirty tricks business, according to Noble, wasn't part of his command.
I was concerned with the mandate that I was given, and it was given to me by my predecessor, which had handed over a project to me, and I ran it exactly according to the mandate that it was given to me on.
But in a Nuremberg kind of second look, would that be the good German defense? I was just following orders, I didn't want to know.
No. You're not going to lead me into that path. The need-to-know principle doesn't mean that you only follow orders. I question my orders regularly.
So you're actually not sure when you...
The Truth Commission questioned his orders, too. But all of the stories told there led back to one man, the enigmatic Dr. Wouter Basson, the physician the newspapers were calling Dr. Death. For 3 days, Dr. Basson stonewalled the commission, refusing to answer their questions about his role in Project Coast, questions about the screwdrivers and poison chocolates.
Dit is my verstandhouding op hierdie stadium.
He finally testified, denying any involvement in the execution or planning or preparation of any substances with a willful purpose to do any harm to any person. As for Lauren's story, he denied ordering Lawrence to make the delivery in England, but acknowledged commissioning the gadgets, saying they were manufactured for testing purposes only.
They were methodical. They were deliberate. They were clinical. They were scientific.
Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who chairs the Truth Commission, called Project Coast diabolical. But still, Tutu is forgiving.
Archbishop, how can you be so generous? I know that you're a man of the cloth and you've won the Nobel Peace Prize, but didn't you ever feel like punching some of these guys in the nose?
Well, you might get some of those temptations. But no, we say we will look the beast in the eye. And having done so, we will say, now we can close that chapter.
It's a chapter that Lawrence would like to get behind him, and he has good reason for it. He has a new family these days and a management job in the private sector. He says that he will stay in South Africa despite a very uncertain future for that country. But as for his role in South Africa's secret history, some of his actions, he says, are still too painful to contemplate.
Do you ever wonder who those screwdrivers from Busan might have been used on?
I don't want to wonder.
There's a limit to which you'll reflect?
I quite frankly don't know if I will be able to live with that thought.
With the knowledge?
Yes. I may have to face it someday, but at this stage, no.
South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission has finished its hearings and will deliver a report to President Nelson Mandela by the end of the month. No word on whether the commission is recommending punishment for the scientists.
Still ahead, they couldn't tame their child's tantrum.
I'm not going to have you slapping and punching me.
Dateline's hidden cameras captured it all. Explosions of anger that never stopped. Who could they turn to for help?
Wow, look at Samson go. Purina cat chow. Chow, chow, chow. He's so healthy. His skin, that coat, beautiful. Know why? Cat chow has advanced nutrition with omega-6 fatty acids to help keep Samson's immune system healthy inside, coat and skin healthy outside. So keep him in step. Purina cat chow brand cat food. Advanced nutrition for a healthy cat. Purina cat chow. Chow, chow, chow.
This is a world only a few know well. A world of risk and uncertainty, where the roads can take you to success or prosperity, or sometimes to no place at all. This is the financial world. For decades, banks and investment firms of mountainous size have ruled the land. Yet high above the horizon, another mountain has risen. A mountain called First Union. With 16 million customers, the nation's 8th largest brokerage and 6th largest bank. For a new perspective of the financial world, come to the mountain called First Union. Or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
You have been asleep for over 7 years. Your mission will change the course of history. But first, you really got to brush your teeth. The Sonicare Sonic Toothbrush. It cleans with a combination of 31,000 brush strokes per minute and gentle sonic waves. Sonicare removes nearly twice as much plaque between teeth as a manual toothbrush, going where no brush has ever gone before. Sonicare, the Sonic Toothbrush.
It's NBC Halloween Monday. A cruising with mermaids, big boys, and Todd dates a witch. What could happen? Oh. Then Conrad's costume collides with disaster. I struck dead ahead!
Plus, it's the night of Richard and Caroline's first date. As soon as Richard rescues the cat,
You got salty? Mm-hmm. Then what the hell is licking my face?
then it's Will and Grace in a Halloween party like no other.
Hush, Starsky.
NBC Halloween Monday.
From Studio 3B in New York, here is Jane Pauley.
If you're a parent who survived the terrible twos, you know that tantrums are just part of growing up. But what would happen if your child never outgrew his outbursts, if they actually got worse as he got older? You're about to meet a family so frustrated by the constant battles with their child, they let Dateline's hidden cameras into their home in hopes of finding an answer to his disturbing behavior. What he suffers from is something you've probably never heard of. But once you see what he and his parents are going through, it's something you won't forget. Here's Hoda Kotb.
Daddy!
Hey, Christian.
Hey! Say hi, Daddy!
At first glance, he is every parent's dream. To his mom, little Christian Cormier was an unexpected gift.
I always called him my miracle baby. I really never thought I would have one, so he was just a little miracle.
But how did that baby turn into this? An explosive little boy who fights his parents almost every time he hears the word no.
Don't even go there, Christian.
His parents, Cindy and Kevin, say the transformation didn't happen overnight.
I thought the so-called terrible twos were starting a little early because he just seemed to be a lot more active than maybe what he should be.
They took Christian to a therapist, and at age 3, he was diagnosed as a hyperactive child. They saw several specialists, but nothing seemed to calm him down. He has what his parents describe as a Jekyll and Hyde personality. During his favorite activities, he's a happy, charming child. But there is another side to their now 6-year-old son. His therapist says it is much more extreme than a merely hyperactive child, much worse than most people have ever seen.
Just imagine it's a light switch. Turn it on, and you get the bad side. You turn it off, and you get the good side. And that's how fast it happens.
Just like that?
Like that.
Even though the parents realize the actions of their son and themselves may look bad to outsiders, they were willing to let us document Christian's behavior in hopes it could help in understanding what is going wrong. With their permission, we placed hidden cameras in the house to watch Christian in action. Even routine activities ignite fierce temper tantrums in Christian. Mealtimes are agonizing confrontations where Cindy and Kevin plead with him to sit down with the family and eat what they want him to.
And eat that. And we'll do computer.
He wants pizza and will fight with gusto, refusing to eat anything else.
No. Keep your hands to yourself.
I call it him being locked into his zone. Christian's world.
What do you mean?
If he doesn't get what he wants, he gets locked into a zone until he gets what he wants. And there is no give. This is a process that we go through basically every time he wants something.
Although many parents argue with their children over simple things, the fights in the Cormier house occur much more often and are more severe than what most parents encounter. And the effect is devastating. Kevin and Cindy often avoid taking Christian out in public, and they rarely get any time to themselves. Former friends refuse to see them because Christian is so out of control. Even at home, they don't have a lot of time to spend with their young son, Dylan, because they say 99% of their energy is spent trying to control Christian. How has his behavior affected your marriage?
We don't get to spend much time together. We barely talk in a day. And when we do get to sit down and talk at midnight, if we're lucky, everybody's too tired.
Christian's explosions can occur several times a day, and the situation often deteriorates into a gut-wrenching battle where the frustrated parents finally lose their temper. When his parents get desperate, they resort to a physical restraint called the wrap.
I do it with the hope of trying to take his mind off of the thing he's fighting for, but it doesn't always work.
They say they've tried all the standard rewards and punishments, but none work. To make matters worse, many of their friends and relatives blame it on bad parenting and a spoiled little boy.
Daddy's full. Certainly not having any fun.
Too many people have too many opinions, and they don't understand this because they don't live with it. And the number one opinion is that he needs a good, kick in the butt. That's what he needs. Well, and I tell them, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I've tried that, and guess what? It don't work.
About the only activity that calms him down is TV, but he must control the remote.
Sounds like he's in the driver's seat, pretty much.
Oh, he's in the driver's seat. I mean, we're under the tires.
Especially at night when Christian's engine is at full throttle and his parents are running on empty.
What would you say the worst moments of the day are?
Bedtime. We dread bedtime. I almost wish it never had to happen, like Christian.
Why do you dread it so much?
It's always a fight.
The first night we observed, it took the Cormiers 2.5 hours to get Christian to bed. He threw punches and pillows. His dad wrapped him up. All this while he was on medication that was supposed to calm him down. Even in bed, he battled on. That night was child's play compared to the next night. It all started after Christian had a night out for his favorite food. But the minute the family walked in the door, it was bedtime, and the trouble began. Christian went after his father, and a few minutes later, spit in his mother's face.
Oh, don't even think about it, mister.
It is the beginning of a torturous evening, far worse than most parents can ever imagine. At about 9 p.m., 2 hours into the battle, Christian is not letting up. Cindy is breaking down. Now, it is almost 10 p.m., and Christian is still relentless. Later, Kevin loses his temper and is desperately trying to dominate his son. Christian spits again, and Kevin snaps.
Get that,
no.
Give me that.
No, please, no.
Yeah. Have a little salt, okay? All right? Now, you will not spit again. You understand me?
Kevin says at times he's gotten so upset, so pushed to his limit, that he's thought of striking back in anger. But he never has. This time, Christian appears not only extremely frustrated, but also frightened. Still, the tirade and the screaming do not stop.
Quiet!
You be quiet!
This is the level that you never want to reach, and I was pretty close. So I just said, I really don't want to go to bed on you, but I have to leave. I have to just get away.
Cindy has forced Christian into his bed several times, but each time he refused to stay there. It is after midnight. Finally, Christian gives in to his exhaustion. Bedtime tonight, a 5-hour nightmare.
Did you feel like, we prevailed?
No.
Do you feel like you ever win?
No.
How do you win? Your 6-year-old just spent 5 hours hitting you, kicking you, spitting at you, not letting you do anything you ever wanted to do in those 5 hours.
The next morning, Christian is oblivious to the horrendous bedtime showdown. But for his parents, it is another day of wondering if the agony at home is their fault and what impact it will have on Christian and his younger brother. But what's going on in Christian's mind? The doctors he's seen are not sure, and when we spoke to him, he didn't even acknowledge there was anything wrong.
What happens when you get mad at your mom and your dad? What do?
I never do get mad.
How come you hit and kick your mom and dad sometimes, Chris?
I don't.
Sometimes, do you?
No. No.
Never? Is there anything in your house that you would like to change?
No.
His parents are desperate. They are at their wits' end.
How important is it to you that this situation get better?
It's the most important thing in our life in order for Christian to have a normal life. Because what we're doing isn't normal.
Cindy and Kevin decide to turn to one more doctor, and he would offer them solutions they never thought of.
When we return, we'll meet a man who'll try to help the Cormiers understand exactly what's happening to their son. And he has some unconventional advice for them. Will it help?
You guys hit the jackpot on a child who isn't responding to normal parenting strategies, which means that you need something different.
On a night when fantasies run wild, the ER is jolted by a dose of reality. What?
Wake up, Dr. Carter!
When When the party spins out of control, one doctor must stop the night of the dead.
You drunk? Now get out.
All new ER, NBC, Thursday.
Newspapers continue to denounce David Wu's campaign, calling it absurd, misleading, a cheap shot, even a sly lie. Molly Bordenaro is endorsed by school board leaders from both parties with a plan to improve our public schools. Smaller classes so students get the attention they deserve, schools safe from drugs and violence, and more dollars directly into Oregon classrooms. Molly Bordenaro, endorsed by Oregon newspapers, working to make our schools the best they can be.
Freedom. Fun. Homework.
Knowledge.
Friends.
College.
A future.
At Mentor Graphics, we believe in people. We believe in community. We believe in Oregon.
I'm one of your senators, Ron Wyden.
20 years ago, he was the young founder of the Oregon Gray Panthers. Back then, he battled insurance fraud. Today, he's our senator and still looking out for seniors.
People shouldn't have to worry about somebody trying to rip them off.
From pushing laws that crack down on scams targeting the elderly to writing the Medicare reform law that's saving us millions, Ron Wyden makes a difference.
I don't have all the answers,
but he sure is trying.
I'm real proud of you.
Must-see TV, NBC. Brought to you by your local Jeep dealers. Dateline NBC, winner of the Livingston Award for Outstanding National Reporting, the only television program honored, the year's most honored news magazine. Dateline will be right back.
I have the cleanest and nicest smelling toilet in the neighborhood.
Since I started using Vanish hang-ins, the toilet bowls stay completely clean. The fact that it delivers bleach to the bowl is terrific.
My scrubbing days are over.
Real easy to use. Drop the tablet in the dispenser, hang it on the side of the tank, boom, you're done.
Vanish hang-ins deliver more bleach to your bowl than Clorox.
There's no stains, no scrubbing.
No rings, like magic. Ta-da!
Vanish hang-ins. More bleach to the bowl.
If anybody doesn't believe me, ring my doorbell and you can smell my toilet.
It was one of those moments in life you want to keep. My husband thought he was getting dinner. My daughter, a new friend. When the moment came, I didn't have to worry about the light being low or them turning out blurry because they were moving. With Kodak Max, I knew I'd get my picture.
Low light, sunlight, action, or still, Kodak Max is all you need to know about film.
Hello, it's me, your skin. I don't usually do endorsements, but for new Vaseline Intensive Care Lotion, I'll make an exception. Vaseline's the only lotion with new skin protection complex. When I'm dry, it heals me. But here's what really excites me. Now Vaseline also protects me from the sun, cold, wind, even water. I feel marvelous. Hey, I'm the only skin you've got. Take care of me. Take Vaseline Intensive Care of me.
Listen here, baby. I am the only one of burning desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
Now you can lease this new Sunfire for just $199 a month. A hot set of wheels with money left to burn. Sunfire. See it at your Pontiac dealer today.
What happens when a city's entire water supply is contaminated?
The water is poison!
It's 103 degrees. You can't drink. You can't bathe. You can't swim.
Bobby, no!
You can't let this thing spread, and they won't let you leave. An NBC world premiere event. A story that could happen anywhere. It'll kill anything. How will you survive? The Thirst. NBC next.
Breaking news, inside sources, expert opinion. Geraldo Rivera getting to the heart of the investigation of the president. Rivera Live at CNBC.
Returning to our story, you've seen how the Cormiers tried everything they could think of to temper the explosive tantrums of their 6-year-old son, and how nothing worked. Well, now they're about to find the man who would help them find the answer. Here again, Hoda Kotb.
Sit down in the chair. Stop banging your head. Sit down in the chair.
After 1 year of fierce temper tantrums and fights with their son, Kevin and Cindy Cormier knew they had to stop the madness at home. They also knew they couldn't do it alone.
Maybe I can learn something new techniques on how to deal with his behavior.
In their search for a therapist, they found this man, child psychologist Ross Green. Dr. Green, who is on staff at Massachusetts General Hospital, is an expert in what he calls explosive children. After an initial visit, Dr. Green diagnosed Christian with a disorder Kevin and Cindy Cormier had never even heard of.
Christian has a disorder called oppositional defiant disorder, or what we roughly refer to as ODD.
Dr. Green has written a book called The Explosive Child to help parents deal with ODD. He says, like Christian, children with ODD often refuse to do what they're told and have more temper tantrums than other kids their age. No one knows for sure how many children have ODD. Green says it may be as low as 2% and as high as 15%. More boys than girls have ODD, and it requires different treatment than other disorders. Is this caused by the environment, or is it something in the brain that kids are born with?
There are lots of folks out there who think that this is purely environmental. I don't. Because I think so many brain-based issues can contribute to ODD, I could never say that it was one or the other. It's both.
What? What?
Dr. Green says children with ODD are different than kids diagnosed as hyperactive. They are extremely inflexible and have a low tolerance for frustration. Those characteristics spark the frequent temper tantrums. Remember, Christian is not performing for our cameras. They are concealed, and he can't see them. Dr. Green agreed to try to help the Cormier family. With the parents' permission, we showed him some of what we captured on videotape at their house.
You guys hit the jackpot on a child who isn't responding to normal parenting strategies, which means that you need something different.
The key, says Dr. Green, is to prevent the explosions before they occur. He says Christian isn't blowing up on purpose. He just doesn't know how else to express his frustrations. Green suggests specific changes that Cindy and Kevin should make as soon as they get home. Remember the crying, the yelling, the endless tantrums and failed negotiations at mealtime? Dr. Green has some basic advice to prevent these mealtime meltdowns.
I have a simple mantra on food. He won't starve. Battles over food are not battles that I think are worth having.
So he should be able to eat what he wants?
I think Christian should be able to eat what he wants. Within that, there may be some limits.
Well, some people might argue, geez, what you put inside of a kid is so important. I mean, he needs to have nutrients and vegetables, meat, and all that stuff.
Ice cream has nutrients. Pizza has nutrients. So I don't think we're sacrificing too much to have him eat foods that he likes.
And what about the cursing, throwing pillows, and physical attacks Christian unleashed against his parents?
Just like a straitjacket.
Before, Kevin and Cindy dealt with that by using a restraint called the wrap.
I wouldn't be restraining or wrapping him at the moment, primarily for the reason that it's not working.
And remember the bedtime battles, those unbearable nightly showdowns in the Cormier home?
All done playing with the toys.
All done. How can Cindy and Kevin prevent the hours of arguing with their son?
It certainly doesn't look like making him stay in his bed is calming to him. We need to find what's calming, and that's what we need to do. TV may play a big part.
What should we set for a limit of time, though? There's only so much TV that we really want him to watch, and there's got to be some set bedtime.
You can go on pretending there's a set bedtime forever, okay? There is no set bedtime.
Dr. Green says arguing about TV is a waste of time. His advice? Let Christian watch as much TV as he wants. Dr. Green has some more advice that he thinks will work. The Cormiers must prioritize. In other words, pick their battles with their son. Then the hardest part. The family needs to learn to negotiate and compromise instead of fighting when Christian and his parents get stuck.
My sense is that helping you help Christian think when he is in this state of inflexibility is what's going to be most critical to our outcome.
Dr. Green says his approach to ODD is new and there may be critics. Dateline spoke to several experts on the disorder who say they disagree with Dr. Green's methods. One went so far as to say parents should not bargain with their kids or let their children call the shots. Dr. Green acknowledges that his methods need to be put to the test in a scientific study. But the Cormier family didn't want to wait. They decided to try his suggestions right away and began weekly therapy.
I think relief is in sight, however.
As part of his treatment, Christian's medications were changed. He was given a different antidepressant and an increased dosage of the other medication he takes to help him fall asleep. Dr. Green says in this case, the medication is as important as the therapy. After 3 months of treatment, we went back to see how the Cormiers were doing. Christian is now a happy 6-year-old who has started school and is doing well there and at home.
3-5.
You can clearly see the results. The food fights are no more. For the most part, Christian eats what he wants when it suits him. It is the hardest thing for his parents to let go of, but they say, well worth it.
Almost everything is compromisable. The only thing that really isn't is anything that has to do with, like, his safety. But almost anything else is, we try to work it out. There's really not too many times we say no.
What do you say to people who say, oh, you know, look, you're letting this kid have his way all over the place. No wonder things are working out in the house. He rules the roost.
Now, he's getting his own way, and I'm getting my way also, and there's no fighting. So it's like a partnership.
Oh, I can't. Nothing.
The family's new skill of negotiation and compromise is now a tool they utilize as often as they used to fight. When his father wants Christian to stop playing and do homework, he offers him a deal.
Watch this.
No!
You want to beat the monster first? All right, we'll do that. You beat the monster, and then we'll read one page, and you can play again. How's that?
After a 2-minute negotiation, Christian agrees, turns off the computer, and reads to his father.
Have a box.
Fun.
Fun. And the fun.
The absence of arguing means more time for family fun. Baby Dylan gets more attention, and Kevin and Cindy have some time to themselves.
He's like a new kid. It's just a total change, total turnaround.
Does Christian kick you?
No.
No.
Does he spit at you?
No.
No.
Yell at you?
Occasionally.
Curse at you?
No.
No.
Never.
No.
No. Giddy up, pussy.
His parents are not the only ones to notice the big change.
Is it more fun at home now? Do you feel better? You feel a lot better? Because you don't have to fight anymore, right? Good for you.
The most dramatic difference is at night. Bedtime is no longer something to dread. It's a series of compromises. One night when we were there, the family agrees to play a game instead of watch TV. Next, they strike a bargain for Christian to spend a few minutes on the computer, and then for him to have a snack. At 9:45, the couch becomes his bed. He closes his eyes and soon falls asleep. Kevin carries his son upstairs. It is lights out, and the family finally has something they've never had before: peace and quiet.
As for the future, Dr. Green says Christian will not outgrow ODD. He may need to keep taking medication, and he'll have to learn to develop better skills to handle his frustrations, something he and his parents will need to work on for years to come. You can learn more about ODD by logging onto our website at www.dateline.msnbc.com.
Coming up, floodwaters once again sweep through Texas, just 2 months after the floods of Tropical Storm Charlie, a storm that hit one town with terrible force.
I would hear my mother and my sister screaming, and I couldn't do anything.
Could this community survive the deluge of nature's wrath?
On Mad About You, an ex-boyfriend dies, leaving Jamie his fortune.
That's his he loves you money.
I'd say Paul's a little teed off.
And on Encore, look who's got a new obsession.
I used to make music. Now I make biscuits. Workers need milk. I said make milk!
All new NBC Tuesday.
He came here without a penny in his pocket, but rich in dreams. Through hard work, John Lim built a business, raised a family, became a respected state senator. Now John Lim's running for the U.S. Senate. Cut taxes, pay down the debt, save Social Security. The Wyden record, too liberal. More taxes, no balanced budget amendment, Social Security going broke. 18 years in Washington is long enough. John Lem, a new senator for Oregon.
Tomorrow at 5, the News Channel's Unit 8 takes you inside the ring. Would you pay $1 million to see professional boxing in Oregon?
It's a waste of money at this time. Total waste of money.
That's how much we spent on a state boxing commission that's approved just one fight in 7 years.
Professional boxing, it hits the skids and it's still there.
Are your tax dollars being spent to knock out professional boxing?
You watch, you'll see.
Tomorrow at 5 on Northwest News Channel 8.
Where the news comes first.
As a teacher, I always held my students accountable for their behavior. And as a county commissioner, I helped start a program that holds first-time youth offenders responsible for their actions. And since I've been in Congress, I've worked to strengthen anti-gang efforts and create after-school programs to keep our kids out of trouble. Because children should be taught to read and write. But we need to help them understand the difference between right and wrong.
Darlene Hooley. She gets it, and gets it done.
General Motors, the company you can count on wherever life takes you.
You're watching Dateline, winner of 3 Edward R. Murrow Awards for excellence in broadcast journalism, more than any other news magazine. Here now is Jane Pauley.
There's been a break for South and Central Texas after the second major flood in the last 2 months. Some dry days earlier this week have rivers receding following record floods that all but swallowed whole communities. For thousands, it's been a week with little to do but watch helplessly as raging rivers carried away everything they had. The normally 150-foot wide Guadalupe River was more than 3 miles across in some places. And the Colorado, often thought of as a gentle neighbor, has been anything but. Evacuations and rescues have been widespread. Now comes the heartbreak of picking up pieces of lives shattered by the fast-moving rivers. If it feels like deja vu, it's because it was only last August that Tropical Storm Charlie ravaged towns along the Rio Grande. Tonight, Sarah James has one of the many tales of courage and heroism from that battle with nature's wrath.
This is a flash flood warning. This is not a watch. This is a warning.
I was scared. I was scared to death.
There was terror in the night from a storm South Central Texas will never forget.
All of a sudden, the river has overflooded. It's up to the irrigation ditch, and there's people yelling and screaming for help.
Hardest hit by Tropical Storm Charlie, the small border city of Del Rio, Texas. Biblical rains, more than a year's worth in a matter of hours, caused creeks and rivers to overflow their banks and walls of water to wash over city streets. As the death toll mounted, the night was punctuated by constant lightning, the roar of the flood, and heroics. But this man would find that a fire truck could help fight a flood, and along with his neighbors, would save scores of people from the deadly waters.
I'm not gonna stand there and watch them just lose everything they got, and after they lose everything they got, lose their own lives. I couldn't do that.
San Felipe Creek, which runs through a section of Del Rio, started overflowing its banks, inundating this bridge, images captured on home video. Del Rio, population 35,000, was caught off guard by the intensity of Charlie's onslaught. By nightfall, the deluge and strong winds downed trees and knocked out power. Much of Del Rio was pitch black, except when lightning lit the sky, exposing abandoned cars, sunken businesses, and people scrambling for higher ground on their rooftops. This man, a paraplegic, was carried to safety by strong but exhausted rescuers. In the San Felipe community, rescue workers were scarce. So George Huerta, a soda distributor and part-time boxer, dove in to rescue his neighbors.
I saw these people screaming for help. I just ran into the first trailer, pulled the people out of there. It was a lady, a girl, and a kid.
George says he continued to bring people to higher ground before he saw a fire truck loaded with survivors. Abandoned engine number 6 became a virtual life raft after even the firefighters got into trouble during rescue efforts.
We had people on top of the truck, inside the truck, on top of the cab. We were just doing everything we could.
George brought some victims to his neighbor, Willie Serrano, who turned a fire hose into a lifeline, reeling people to safety.
It was just like a trout line, hooking fishes up and pulling us in.
I'm up in the roof, and I saw some flashlights coming in closer, and it was George. He was coming to help. He helped me with my family to the fire truck.
A grateful Miguel Hernandez joined the team of civilian rescuers. In about 5 hours, they saved dozens of stranded victims.
I would hear my mother and my sister screaming, and I couldn't do anything.
This slab of concrete is all that remains of Claudia Infante's two-story home. She was safe on the fire truck, but says her family would have been swept away too, if not for her neighbors.
Every time I would see him come back, you know, I would tell him again, it's like, George, my family. George, my family there on the roof.
I was going to get everybody that I could, but that family right there, their house was completely demolished. It was gone. And she told me that her family was there, and I was going to get there.
This rooftop fell on George, cutting his leg, but he still managed to rescue Claudia's family.
I had to. I told her I would.
She told me she would, and she did it. She did it.
Despite such heroic efforts, 9 people died in Del Rio, and the latest flooding has claimed more than 24 lives. What with the drought and then the floods, it's been a year of plagues that's cost Texans billions of dollars.
Here on business, sir?
Yep, all business.